Even though quite expensive and maybe quite a niche product, I really enjoy my breath controller. Now, they really free up my hands and they make my brass and wind instruments come much more alive. But the only thing I find is a little bit difficult with them is the actual wire to it, because I often forget that it's plugged in and I get stuck and maybe I don't find the right length and all that. But now there's actually a wireless version, so let's check that out. Hi there, this is Sam with Second Tier Sound. Really nice to see you here. So, quite a while ago I was sent this unit, Air Motion Pro by Papritech. So this is not a sponsored video, but they sent me this unit, which I really appreciate, and asked if I wanted to make a review. So let's do that. Let's see how this works, and let's see if it is as good as my wired unit. Alright, let's take a look at the unit itself. It's quite a straightforward construction here, just a box where you blow in the air in the hole here. It's surrounded by a rubbery pad, so it's a little bit easier to bite or put your lips on. It doesn't have bite control, but I find it quite comfortable in fact. Then on the left side there's a USB charging port, very handy, that can actually be used to be charged as you're using it if you want to. On the back there's a button for turning it on and off. And then it's just a simple construction that you can put around your head. You can bend this sort of cable to your own shape, whatever you want to. It also comes with a little USB port that you have to put into your unit, your computer, or whatever you use to control this thing with. It's really easy to install. You don't need any kind of software. You just plug this thing in, turn this unit on, and it connects instantly. Very, very simple to use. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. It also comes with a little app on your phone. So first you have to connect it, and that was very, very easy for me. I experienced no problems there. And then you go to MIDI if you want to do any changes. I find the default settings work really well, but you could change the MIDI channel. The breath sensor is automatically set to CC1. It doesn't say it, but it is. But you can always change that if you wanted to. And then you also have the motion sensors, forward, backwards, and tilt and all that, which you can set to any parameters you like. Very simple. And then you can obviously save a preset, which is nice if you find that you want to change back and forth. And then in the settings, I haven't used that too much, but you know, it has a manual, some tutorials, and even training if you want to see how this actually works, and sensor calibration, which is very nice. And overall, I find that this app works really, really well. So we're now inside Cubase. I just thought I wanted to show you how the breath controller works with this simple little track here. I do want to say though that some people think that breath controllers only really work well with modeled instruments, but I find that they work quite well with sampled instruments too. For example, I'm using Cinematic Studio Woodwinds here and I have no issues with it. So let's just perform this simple line here in one take and see what we get. All right, let's take a look in the MIDI editor. All right, as you can see here, there's quite a lot of data. That's actually one of the pros of using a breath controller. You could do this with a mod wheel, but it's harder to feel the instrument and play it like you would if you played a real instrument. So let's see what it sounds like. I actually often find that I like the first take, and maybe I need to tweak it, but at least I have a guide here. So that's what I really prefer with using a breath controller. I sort of get the intention behind the emotion and the music immediately, and there's less work to do in post. So what do I think about the Air Motion Pro? Well, for $169 including free shipping, at least to where I live, I think this is a very good deal. My wired version costs quite a bit more. It does have the bite function, which Air Motion Pro does not. But otherwise they work the same. You can change the airflow, you can change the tilt to different, how you move the head, you can change the MIDI channels, and they're very easy to work with. To be honest though, I don't use the bite or the tilt in any of my breath controllers because I find I have to sit perfectly still with my head as I play, otherwise I get data that I don't want. So I actually turn them off. But if it's important to you, just remember that this one has the tilt function, but not bite. So the Air Motion Pro, you can change the parameters with this app that you have to install on your phone. Now, first I thought, oh, that doesn't sound good. I don't want apps to control my unit. Do I have to have it on all the time? Is it going to be easy to install and all that, connecting wise? Personally, it was dead easy. The app just installed, worked perfectly, connected with my unit, no problem at all. And it doesn't need to be on in order for the unit to work. This is just to change parameters, the airflow, different MIDI channels. I also wonder if the transmission would have latency. This is a wireless unit. Is it going to be as quick as my wired? Personally, and I no way to actually check this with data, it did not feel that there was any issues. I did not feel like it was lagging or behind. It was not difficult to connect at all. Very, very easy to use. So no problems there. The only thing I found was a little bit odd with this unit, even though it's a tiny detail, is that the switch button is in reverse, the way I see it. When you press it in, it's actually off, and you press it out, it's on, which I thought was a little bit odd because I actually thought it was off and then I, left it on and it discharged. So next time I was using it, it's like, oh, there's no battery in here. It does have a light, but it blinks ever so often, so you have to check that it really does that. The only thing you might want to think about here is that this needs to be charged. Thankfully, it does work when it's plugged in, but then it's a wired version, basically. If you need to do that, at least it works. So it's not that it doesn't work being plugged in. You just have to make sure you have a long enough USB cable. What I found actually with this unit is that I just developed a habit of, as I put it on, I click the button immediately. And as I don't use it, I click it again because otherwise I forgot it on. And then it was discharged for the next time I was working with it. But as I developed the habit, that was not an issue at all. And then I felt it lasted quite a bit. I actually don't know how long it lasts being charged, and I don't know how long it takes to charge. I find it takes very little time to charge it, and if I use this technique of turning it on and off as I work, I find like it works a really long time. My only big thing that you might want to think about here, that is the big difference here between the wired unit and this wireless unit, is that my wired unit happens to have a physical resistance control. I can actually change by screwing on it, a little tap like this, the physical air resistance. This wireless unit does not have that, and it might not mean anything to you. I just like it because I feel like I have more resistance, like I'm blowing harder into a real instrument, and I like that. So the Air Motion Pro, it feels a little lighter. Now you can change the airflow in the app, so you need to blow more in order to get the effect you want, and that is kind of like a resistance, but it's not the same as the physical resistance. I've tried this wireless unit for quite a while now, and I really like it. It's a small thing, but not having a wire, I really like it. There's so many wires in my studio, and you forget it on, and I'm afraid of ripping the cable off or the wired unit, and this one I can move about a lot longer. It's easier, it doesn't interfere with anything else that I get stuck, and that small detail really has made it a lot easier for me. Now I have both units, and I do kind of prefer the resistance one, but I reach often for the wireless one because it's a lot easier. Just click, it's on, because it connects directly. And for the price, I actually very much recommend this. I do hope they update it to make sure that you can have some resistance in it in the future, and perhaps even a bite control. But that's it for this review. Hope you now know more about this unit, if this is for you or not, if you're looking for a breath controller. So until next time, I hope you take care of yourself and write a lot of music. See you next time.